What is up, geeks? So this is my official spoiler-filled review for Deadpool. So if you haven't seen Deadpool yet, I would suggest you add this video to your watch later list and watch it after you see the movie. So you guys have been warned. There are going to be spoilers in this video. So anyway, I really think that Deadpool might just be the best comic book movie to date. As far as for me, it is my favorite one so far, followed closely behind Dark Knight and the Avengers, and maybe X-Men Days of Future Past and Guardians of the Galaxy. But I'll come up with a list after 2016 because we have a lot of great movies coming up. We still have Batman v Superman, we have X-Men Apocalypse, we have Civil War, so there's just so many great movies coming out. Of course, Rogue One too, you can count that as a comic book movie with Star Wars being so prevalent in the comics now. So it's just a great time to be a superhero fan, a comic book fan, just to be a geek, right? So, guys, Ryan Reynolds, he was perfectly casted for this role. I mean, he produced this movie. He's been wanting this movie for 11 years now, and it's just his long-waited journey has come to, an amazing end. And now we have Deadpool forever. Now he's going to be in, possibly more X-Men movies, maybe an X-Force movie. But anyway, he just did a great job. He's totally born to play Deadpool. He was just so great. All of his lines, a lot of them were actually ad-lib. He just came up with a lot of things with him and T.J. Miller, the guy who played Weasel, his friend. Their dynamic was just so great. I loved watching them two play off each other and just come up with really hilarious things. That was the one thing about this movie that I loved the most. I mean, it's just one line after the other. I can't even remember all the jokes, and I know that I missed some, so I'm definitely going to be checking out Deadpool soon. I'm actually planning to check it out tomorrow with my dad. He hasn't seen it yet. I'm really excited to see it, to watch him watch the movie. And, this movie is a totally rated R, hardcore R, because there's just so many, things that you couldn't include in a PG-13 movie. A lot of F-bombs were dropped. Of course, the sexuality. Of course, like all the violence. I mean, there's this one scene where Deadpool cuts off this dude's head and then kicks it off and hits another guy with that head. So there's so many great scenes like that. The action was great. Colossus, including Colossus, was a great move because he was very different from Deadpool. I mean, Deadpool, is this loudmouth guy, cursing left and right, very violent. Meanwhile, Colossus isn't trying to kill anybody. He's just, trying to do his job as an X-Men. So just including those characters, the X-Men characters, was really fun. I even like how Deadpool, he's breaking the fourth wall like he does in the comics. He basically mentioned, why is the X-Mansion so empty? It's like the studio couldn't afford to have more X-Men. And he's just saying things that we're thinking in our heads while we're watching the movie. So Ryan Reynolds, he was a genius. He was just so great. Of course, all the writers and producers, and of course the director, doing a great job. Just working off all the strengths of Deadpool and not being afraid of just going totally true to the comics, because a lot of the times people want to take liberties, try to do other things, but you know what? The comics work for a reason, and this is one of those instances where that really paid off. Just going straight from the comic books and putting it on screen, and just being true to the character of Deadpool. Using Al, his, trusty sidekick, who's, like in the movie, he says that's his Batman to his, his Robin to his Batman, and, his relationship with his girlfriend. It was very believable, feeling like, this relationship was actually real. And there was that one scene when they were doing, a little, seasonal thing where it's like happy Valentine's Day, happy, Merry Christmas and all that. They were going through all the seasons. I was laughing so hard when they went Happy Lent and they're just reading a book. You guys know that scene. But anyway, I was just dying. And there were just so many scenes where I was dying. And I was very surprised when they came up with that scene, that highway chase scene, when, that Deadpool test footage that they came out with last year, the one that leaked, that basically made this movie happen. For the most part, it was the same exact thing. They changed some dialogue for sure, because I watched it recently again, the test footage. They changed some of the dialogue, but mostly the action scenes were pretty on par with what they came up in the first place. And I loved how they just, paid homage to that. And just, you know, from the very beginning, the linear movie making style wasn't used. It was kind of like a flashback and flash forward kind of thing, just jumping in and out. And I thought that worked very well. I just think it was just well written. You know, not even well written. I'd say it was perfectly written for Deadpool, perfectly acted. You know, there was just not really much to complain about. I can't even think about anything to complain about as far as being, you know, better than The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight. I'm a huge fan of Heath Ledger and his performance. But there are some things that you can say about The Dark Knight that, you know, would you know, most people would actually agree with. I mean, there wasn't a lot of Batman in that movie. There is some things that we can talk about, but there's a reason why I'm picking Deadpool over The Dark Knight for right now, at least. It's just the fact that Deadpool was a perfect comic book movie. You know, I think it could have been rated 95 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think for the first week it was like 96, but then of course when all the other critic reviews comes in, it gets lower. I think it's at an 86 right now. So guys, I want to know what you felt about the movie. I want to know what you think, whether you think it's better than The Dark Knight, whether you put it in your top 5 list of all time for comic book movies. Let me know what you want to hear. It's definitely probably my favorite, one of my most favorite movie going experiences, to be honest. You know, next to watching Star Wars The Force Awakens again and just seeing a Star Wars movie, you know, after such a long time, it was a great ride. You know, they get you, you know, laughing from the very beginning with the opening credits. The way that they did it was so hilarious. And then at the very end, even with the Ferris Bueller payoff with the after credits scene, that was just, everything was just so well thought out. I mean, they had 11 years to be thinking about the script, of course, so they had a huge advantage in that, but it just, you know, it was great. So, guys, thank you guys for watching my review. Before I go, I just want to show you guys my tank top. I got a Deadpool tank top, and it says 1991. That's the first appearance of Deadpool, if you guys were wondering. And it says Merc with a mouth. So, yeah. And I also have my Deadpool mask that I got from Hot Topic here in the background. I'm not putting it on because it doesn't look that great when you put it on. Maybe for a future video if I can come up with something funny. Just stay tuned for that. But the only thing is that the way that the eyes line up with mine, you can already see how wide they are. So I can't really see that well with this. But it would be great to get like an official, you know, a nice mask, a nice cosplay maybe in the future. Would you guys like me to cosplay as Deadpool? Maybe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. And until next time, embrace, express, and enjoy yourself. May the Force be with you always, my young Padawan.